Is Google making us stupid? This article by Nicholas Carr is essentially an expose on what the effects of the internet, particularly search engines like Google, have on our minds and our thought processes. I agree with some of Carr's theories, especially says the media shapes the thought process. The mind is now expected to take on information the way the internet distributes it. What is information fluency? Well, in our class, we learned that information fluency is equal to information literacy. Information literacy is the ability to recognize when information is needed and to have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. Information fluency allows us to deepen our thinking by giving us the ability to decipher what is information and what is misinformation. Okay, I'm looking for FBI James Conley. And his criticism. Oh yeah, or well, we'll see. Smart. I usually do that first, and then I'll add on other stuff. Yeah, see what you come up with. Yeah. See, like right here already, privacy and public safety. That's the word. All these apps running, messing with my computer. So we're looking for a top search space. That's one. So let's copy this order. Same thing. Higher privacy electronic surveillance. Oh my god. Here we go. Yeah, that's it. So we got two sources so far. Still recording? Yeah. Well, we got two sources. We only got 2 minutes. So. I just backed up. There was another good source. Found it. Still got a minute to spare, too. Well, I started late. Yeah. It's showing on the recording. This is good, too. See? That's it. That's the one. Well, no kidding. This is the exact same. We found the article. That's like bonus point, right? Well, I mean, we could have just started there. Did we get like extra time for that? As you saw in the previous video, my group and I simulated a quick 5-minute search on an article regarding Director of the FBI James Comey, who recently criticized Apple and Google for encrypting new smartphone data and rendering it inaccessible to law enforcement, even with a court order. As any typical quick search, I started off by typing in James Comey in the Google search box. I clicked on the top hit, which brought me to the FBI's official site, www.fbi.gov. This seems to be a government-published website that serves the purpose of informing the public. In my second search, I added the words court order on the Google search bar. This brought me to the website www.cbsnews.com. CBS is a well-known for-profit media channel. Their website had news articles and video pertaining to internet security and electronic surveillance, which use James Comey's recent comments as a catalyst to tell their story. The next site I went to was www.nytimes.com. This is another well-known media channel. This site contained the actual article in question. It tells the story of FBI agent James Comey and gives insights on the concerns of internet security. The last site I clicked on was www.brookings.edu. Even though this has the extension .edu, the primary purpose of the site seems to be more geared towards entertainment rather than education. The articles in this site is written by a gentleman named Fred Dews, who appears to be just a media blogger at best. He offers his opinion on James Comey's situation, but does not seem to have any hard evidence to support his case. During my quick search, I tried to get information to answer the question, how much should tech companies cooperate with the government on data access? I feel like a quick 5-minute search is adequate to answer this question subjectively. But what is missing is factual evidence backed with hard data. Information fluency teaches us how to discern information from misinformation. To answer the question, how much should tech companies cooperate with the government on data access, we should start by forming a research question. We can then break that research question into the right keywords. Using those keywords, we can then find sources, evaluating them to ensure that they are scholarly. To better answer your question, you must start deepening your search. Coming up with a search strategy is a good way to start. By breaking your research question into key words and key concepts, you can then start looking for them on the internet. Now, we all know how convenient doing research is on the internet, but searching for non-internet sources can prove very valuable as well. Once you have your sources, you must determine how credible they are. Once you have your keywords, you can input them into Google Search. This feature of Google allows you to find pages with all these words, this exact word or phrase, any of these words, none of these words, and numbers ranging from. To find non-internet sources, a good place to start is your local or your school's library catalog. Here you can find books and articles and reserve them. Online database is another good internet source. Here you can find articles, scholarly journals, and electronic books as well. Online library networks, such as WorldCat, provide you with both internet sources as well as non-internet sources from books around the world. Once you have your sources, it's important to see how credible they are. This can be done by asking three simple questions. Who created this information? Why did they create it? Who is paying to host it, and why? In this section of the presentation, I'll be interviewing a member of the older generation. My Uncle Tony is born in 1954, so he would be considered a baby boomer. I have read to him the hot topic, and I asked him how he would go about finding more information to answer this question. This was his response.
I could just look for them in the internet.
Afterwards, I asked him why he would do it that way. And his response?
I don't know how else to do it. You can't go to the library anymore.
Afterwards, I asked my uncle about Nicholas Carr's theory and what his reflections on it was.
I think he has a good point. Kids today don't read anymore.
As I browsed the internet for stereotypes of millennials, there seems to be some reoccurring themes that come up when asked about their ability or willingness to search for answers to tough questions. The point that we are always distracted and we can't focus on anyone seems to be at the top of the list of most of these stereotypes. I would tend to agree with this point, just somewhat. It doesn't apply to everyone, but I think the way media is presented in its current format today, it does allow for somebody to be more susceptible to having a distracted mindset. Another point is that we're addicted to the internet. Again, I would agree to this, but I think just as much as the older generation was addicted to television. The one is always distracted by their mobile devices. This, again, I tend to agree with. Everyone I know has a mobile device or a smartphone, and by just my pure observation, I say most of them spend a lot of time fiddling with their devices. Another stereotype is being disconnected with reality. I think this goes along with video games and other forms of immersive media. This I don't buy into too much. I myself played video games growing up, and I don't think a byproduct of that is being disconnected with reality. This I don't really agree with. I think it's just a misconception. I don't feel that everybody is on a social media site. If anything, I think it's kind of going away a little bit. Here are a few points where the generations differ as far as how different generations search and evaluate information. Millennials tend to depend entirely on the internet for their information. I feel like a lot of them need a class just to learn how to get information in another way. When it comes to just general browsing and acquiring information, whether it's a good source or not, millennials definitely have the upper hand when it comes to just basic speed in the browsing and the knowledge of which sites to go to. But I think when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter what generation you're from. Um, we all rely on the internet to a certain extent. It's a lot easier to just type up a word on a search engine and just get started that way. Has Google made us stupid? I think stupid is the wrong word. I feel that lazy is more appropriate. The ability to get information and get our questions answered so quickly makes us think that other things should be as easy as well. Nicholas Carr thinks that our mind has changed because of it, but I wouldn't go as far as saying that our mind has changed. I would say that just our natural tendencies to do things the easy way becomes more realized and in a way even promoted. Whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, we can't really tell right now. In the article, some ancient philosophers believed that the finally, the question is, what can we do to become better at tackling the information conflicts coming at us every day? I want to address this question in a more progressive stance. I think we should acknowledge that technology is the direction the world is going. And as mentioned in the article, we should adapt to how the information is coming at us. I feel that the current trend of skimming through information is an acceptable way to gain information and should actually be taught and refined. Speed reading has been around for many years, and with the advent of newer technology, we can find different ways of getting information to our brains a lot faster and more efficiently.